Geovana, I'm assuming that a rehab project involves different elements, different aspects to it. If we are to talk more specifically about one of those aspects, let's say the kitchen, what are the key elements that you would consider in evaluating about the kitchen?
Okay. Before I answer that question, I want to mention this. We are those kind of investors that before we make an offer to someone for a property, we always balance that it has to be a win-win situation. It has to be something good for the people who are selling and for me as a buyer. So for us, is a very important aspect is to go and inspect the home. That's going to give us an idea how much I need to put and how much effort I need to put in the renovation, and how is my budget is going to be meet that criteria, so I can give a better offer to the homeowner. You know, so I just want to mention that. And one of the aspects that we look definitely is the places like you mentioned, the kitchen. The kitchen is one of the places that that now we concentrate a lot of on that. Is knowing now that it's a place where people meet together more than before. You know, is a consider that a place for gastronomic and relationship. So that's put it that way. Nowadays is that. So the kitchen structure, we really emphasize in the kitchen structure. We choose a design that face fences of with the design of the house. I cannot do like a $300,000 in a kitchen where the house is not even cost that, you know. So I need to figure out that I need to be realistic in what I'm doing, but even it has to be realistic, it has to be in the budget and what is needed. Okay, so budget is another thing and another aspect of that we consider. Also the practicality. It is sometimes we worry so much about how it looks like, and we forget about how function it is. So we always try to meet both the that looks nice and it is being functional as well. So it does kind of the elements that we always consider as part of kitchen. Especially, I mean, it has to be there's it's a triangle there and the spaces. When we talk about spaces, that's a triangle in the kitchen. We need to worry about the cooking part. We have to worry about the washing part, you know, and we have to worry about the extra part of the kitchen that it needs to be concentrated on. Yeah, so it could be multi-function. The kitchen is a multi-function thing, so we need to value every space and give the right function for each space.
Giovanna, and as far as colors, materials, style, what trends have you identified in today's market?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, that's another part. You know, sometimes people think that because that's a lot of investors in the area, right? And some investor has the different strategies as part of renovations. When we do a renovation, and actually in our program, we teach people um, maybe 90% of our transactions are flipping. That means that we buy and we fix it and we sell it. But in the process of flipping, we really add value to the property. So colors is one of the aspects that really has to be changed. That give a good aspect of the property. Open and wide spaces is now the trend right now. to be a wide space. They need to see that it's a spacious. Light colors, like now is like white, gray. That's the predominant colors right now. The cabinets, that's usually white cabinets, sometimes dark gray. It's just depend, and that's something you don't have to be a an expert or interior designer. You just need to know your stuff. That's your business, and you need to be on the top. So you need to maybe spend time and going and visit another homes that the other people is doing it, and getting ideas, and look into the internet and see what is the new things, what is the new colors, what kind of paints that you doing. All of that. That's part of our homework. So also the tiles that you choose, is important. There's a lot of colors nowadays. White, black is always there. White and black is always there. But now it's a combination with the gray, as we talk about colors. The lighting as well is very important aspect of the renovation.
Wow. Okay. And I would think that bathrooms are also a very important part of a rehab project. What would be the essential elements that you would consider when doing a renovation updating project on a bathroom?
On the bathroom, yeah. Well, this is another area of the house that is very busy as well of the kitchen, which should be an area not only aesthetic and functional, but also hygienic, especially if you have family with children. So we need to consider, and that's part of what we do. We actually, when we do a renovation, we need to think for the future people who's going to live in that home, and we need to be created on that part. So consider the space. Usually people think that because the bathroom is a small area, so it's maybe a small things that we need to do or worry about it. And really with the small areas, it's more challenging because you need to look that area bigger in what it looks like. Oh, that was as real. Yeah. So that's make us a challenge for us as an investors to make a good design so they can see be functional, look bigger, and look good. You know, so we need to consider the space. I think one of the first elements is to consider the space, consider the door openings. And I say that, and people is laughing sometimes on that because that happened. I mean, by experience, we put the wrong doors to the wrong opening, so we had to change it, and that's kind of the things that the experience brings you. The ceiling, the height of the ceiling is very important that's an aspect that we need to consider as well. The dimensions of we need to see and play with the dimensions around it. The shower side, the ventilation, the finish house. The finish house is a very crucial thing that we can have it better, the best style, the best colors, the best everything, but it has a poor finish house, it's not gonna look nice, even if it could be expensive tile or not. So finish house is that's what a good contractor it has to be to do those finish house.
Wow. Well, a lot of things certainly to consider.
Yes.
What about flooring? I hear a lot of debate from people coming up, debating whether, wood, carpet, laminate. What trends have you identified, and how to go about best uh, rehab floors?
Now, as go to floors. Well, when we talk about floors, we are talking about the key element of decoration because this is going through the whole house. So, and this is because also creates a different environment for each part of the house. Nowadays, starting maybe in 2021, when because they're starting the open spaces around in the house, so they see when they open the space, they cannot change from one floor to another one. So they put the same floor in the entire house. Before you see that they put houses, they put floors and at the entrance that was one kind, and the other kind and the on the living room, and one kind in the dining room, things like that. Now that's changed tremendously since 2021. So definitely the more floor that we use, that's wood, real wood, and that's depend also on your property. As an investor, you need to do your numbers and see and figure out what is the best for that house, and based on your budget. And even if you put a good wood in a property, it doesn't mean that you're going to put value or whatever renovation that you're going to do. You need to really understand how to put value in the home that you can sell it for the price that you want to sell. And we really challenge our houses, and because we want to sell it for more. So so knowing and have the knowledge and how to do it is not just only because I talking maybe on part of the as a contractor. Sometimes we know that because we've been doing this for many years, we know how to do this. Yes, we know all our work, but it's a different when we're doing for investment. We had to look at it as an investment perspective and see, is this is really adding value to my house? This floor is adding value or not? So it's going to change maybe the kind of floor that it's going to use. Well, tiles definitely is in areas like kitchen, in areas on the bedrooms. I mean, tile is the trend there, and also that's depend also the size of the house. In some house that is very small, we use more like a laminated. Now the laminate is not like it before. It is the floor right now is common at different styles, different colors, different materials that they can definitely look like a wood, and they give you that sense. So you can now, and that's a very resistible and a good price on that. So now you can see most of the houses are with laminate people. That people say, wow. Sometimes you had also to, when you go to inspect your home, you're going to decide if you really need to change your floor or not. I see, and so some of the investors that made the mistake, I say the mistake, to changing the beautiful real wood floors for laminated, when they can really do more with the real wood. Real wood is can easy to work in. And if that's maybe in very damaged way, well, you can maybe change some parts, but you can maintain the wood. And I think for me, that's a mistake that they may do it. Okay, so that's, I can maybe say that this is more of the popular items that they, as far as floors, like also carpets. Nowadays is really rare that you can see carpets on houses. But most of our renovations, we use carpets in the bedrooms because people wants to change the environment from part of the house to their own environment, because the room is very private thing. So they want to change uh, that environment on them.